Namaskar. Generally, when we assemble among the seedmen, there are two things which I used to start with. Subijam Sukshetre Jayate Sampadyate is a statement in Manusmriti, which means good seed on good land yields abundantly. And then we also used to slowly inculcate a habit among the seed group as when we meet each other, Jai Beej, like good morning, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. So whenever among the seed group we meet, I was just thinking we'll have a cultivation habit of when we meet each other, instead of saying good morning, or in addition to saying good morning, Jai Beej. Okay, that's it, just only to provoke some thought on that. Now, we'll go with the presentation. I have structured my presentation in such a way which is, in my opinion, will be tailor-made for an assembly of this kind for the purpose for which we are meeting today. Yeah. Then go ahead. Of course, this is the theme. Next. This is the session topic. Of course, you all know. Yeah. Now, for the purpose of this kind of an assembly, we should provoke our mind with something of this kind. Seeds have the power to preserve species, enhancing cultural as well as genetic diversity and countering economic monopoly. One can count the number of seeds in a fruit, but cannot correctly forecast the number of fruits that any seed would give. That is the kind of a mystery behind any genetic resource. So I think we are assembling here to appreciate the value of genetic resource. I thought this invocation will be good. And of course it's also said all the flowers and fruits of all the tomorrows are in the seeds of today. That is a kind of a profession we are all in, and we should appreciate that any gene bank keeps these kinds of things in the background. Next. Now we are all familiar with, I am sure, when we now you have in the net and all that lots of information, the seed vault in the North Pole, in Svalbard, global seed vault, 1,000 kilometers far off Norway coast. The Norwegian king donated millions of dollars, and we will have a photograph of that later. We will find that for decades, for the coming posterity, maybe generations and after generation, no germplasm should get lost. You are aware of the seeds becoming extinct, of species becoming extinct. So to preserve that germplasm for the future, the Norwegian king has built up a store in the North Pole, 1,000 kilometers away, 100 meters below the ice. And that is the kind of permafrost combination they have made it. And of course, we have got 1,400 vaults or seed banks in the world, officially recognized, and holding only 0.6% of the world's diversity. That's a kind of a small effort. And the Kew Gardens in UK has a Millennium Seed Project, we are all aware. Of course, at the international level, organized arrangement of IBPGR, International Bureau for Plant Genetic Resources, international crop institutes like IRRI, CIMMYT, CIP, ICRISAT, AVRD, they all have it. And of course, at the national level, we have Dr. Pansal here, NBPGR, ICR's crop institutes, NRCs, directorates, SAUs, and public and private sector banks. Next. Now, narrowing down to the germplasm and seed genetic resource, we can, as far as India is concerned, we can broadly group into two types of objectives. One is the public sector institutions conserving genetic diversity, including academic research. But largely they are for conserving the genetic diversity, of course, which also get into the routine crop improvement programs. Whereas in private seed firms, it will be largely need-based, oriented towards crop improvement for their internal in-house R&D for commercialization view. Next. The accession policy, if you have, of course, when you are starting a small project of this kind, certain initial accession policies are important. So I am trying to touch upon those essential ones which any person interested in storing seed in the gene bank should at least meet these initial accession policies should be there. initial seed quality, physical purity, health, viability, germination status, clear from quarantine angle for pathogens, insects, weeds in any form. Of course, genetic purity is important, very much important, but at the time of depositing, we won't know the genetic purity of the status, and it has to be over a period of time evolved. And initial germplasm deposit, we should have the passport data, there are prescribed formats for it, one can improve upon that, and initially filling in the passport data in the prescribed format is very, very important for the utilization of the germplasm. And germplasm issue policy, next. This is equally important because germplasm is a rare resource. There can be occasions where you have only one seed, and now how do you store the seed and how long? So maybe, therefore, initial deposit, maybe you can't store in kilograms also, so you may have to have a restriction on the number of seed that you will store, but the minimum essential what you should have for getting into that. And then when you start issuing it, yes, at least hold back 50% of the seed gene bank so that you always have, the gene bank doesn't get high and dry on a quick day. So initial deposit policy is important and issue policy is also equally important. Next, regeneration policy and methodology. This is very important because the germplasm is going to be a valuable material and there's a constant watch on the generation potential, viability potential should be there, and then the quantity available in the genetic resource should be known, and then you have to keep on moderating in such a way, regenerate and replenish to ensure reasonable quantity of pure live seed, and as far as possible combine and integrate regeneration along with categorization, which we will see in the next one. In regeneration and categorization, because naturally you don't want the gene bank to become high and dry, therefore you have to regenerate, keep on regenerating based on the initial quality, germination status, initial quantity requirement, and in the regeneration, what should be the plant population for regeneration and what is the ideal season, location for proper growth, correct expression of characteristics, assessment and assured regeneration. And in doing so, you have to consider definitely the floral biology, pollination aspects, sterility nature, breeding behavior, etc. And occasionally it may so happen that the routine germination test what you are doing for assessing the initial germplasm, that seedling itself may have to become the potential for regeneration. So you have to see that if it is required, the germination test is so conducted that seedling is used for planting and raising a two-to-type plant for generating seed. Then it comes to characterization. Next. Characterization, yeah. Normally for characterization one will go by the distinctness, uniformity and stability, which is very well known. PPVFRA has developed certain DES features, but from the industry point of view, apart from the DES, also get into the utility features, because there are many features which are of compliance with DES, all right, but then from the industry viewpoint, utility features, special utility features will be there which are not part of the DES, but you don't have to have a regeneration for utility features. So combine regeneration along with characterization and extend the characterization beyond DES so as to make use of the special utility features. Now the construction should be all weatherproof against all kinds of natural hazards, lightning, thunder, earthquake, tremor, even a small tremor. And I recall at this point of time the Orissa cyclone of 1990s, and then the 7 years ago the Tamil Nadu tsunami and the Kutch Butch earthquake, how much of material we have lost. And I remember very well in the Orissa cyclone period when we were arranging paddy seed, believe me, the local farmers asked us when we were having a relief mission, sir, hame Lunishri ka beej dilwa do. Lunishri is a variety of paddy which is having salt tolerance. And that particular seed, honestly speaking, we were not able to locate it. Even if we are able to locate it, regenerate as quickly as possible and supply. So therefore, that's the value of any of the germplasm, especially under natural hazards. Next. So therefore, apart from the commercial aspect, a great support to nature's inbuilt effort to preserve, because nature itself is on its own trying to conserve. So our effort should be to supplement that efforts for species diversity protection and wealth of the plant species. supplement collection and preservation of special, interesting, novel species. This is very important. We are not just only mechanically what we are interested in our crop improvement story, but also plenty of items are becoming extinct. I remember everywhere in Lucknow Botanic Garden, there is one plant only which is kept in a big cage, and there is a, like your roadside drums are there. That plant, all about 40 feet around radius, they put a fencing so that nobody goes near it. I am forgetting the name of the botanical name of that particular plant. Just like your aloe vera or something like that. And that is the only plant available in the whole of India. The National Botanic Garden, Lucknow, you will see that. That's a kind of a wealth. And now its propagation is by vegetative means, but then people are trying to explore how to protect that material. And it has a lot of high medicinal value. Especially nowadays, you will find that the original wealth, which is useful for other purposes, where they become extinct, people are trying to locate them. So this is a kind of in the National Seed Bank or any seed bank, our effort should also be simultaneously go on and collecting materials which are of other value also. And this process will be supplementing the national effort of NDPGR, and this is a player where we were talking about Dr. Pansal also in the morning, the private-public partnership or the public-private partnership, or even I would say private-private partnership, public-public-private partnership. That partnership effort is important so that as a nation we build up the germplasm, especially for underexploited, unexplored regions, species, etc. And this is where our effort should be on a mission mode. It is not just a routine method, it should be mission mode. Full of genetic resource today in the country, and lot of information is available to them, technical support is available, core competencies for storing germplasm, unlike any other. So there are plenty of specialities with resource unit or gene bank as again routine seed store. And then in this process, as you start storing genetic material, you will realize when I get into the germination testing, oh, there is no ISTA rule, there is no AOSA rule, there is no national rule. How to standardize, and India can contribute a lot. For information, those of youngsters you knowing that jute seed testing was not known in the ISTA circle. It is India which developed and standardized the jute seed testing process and contributed to ISTA. And still even today, about a couple of months ago, ISTA, we had a conference in Bangalore, and those people, they realized that, oh, India can do a lot because their efforts towards seed testing protocols are confined to X number or X number of species or X types. But there are plenty of them for which seed testing procedures are not known. Maybe as you start holding seed or gene bank, the necessity for testing will come, then you will wonder, what is the testing procedure? Therefore, we can standardize and contribute to the international effort also for seed testing protocols. And then, one important issue will come towards the valuation. How to value the germplasm? Like Abdul Kalam ji ka brain, how much value, and Shankaran's ka brain, how much value, or a beggar on the roadside, how much will be his brain value? It is so difficult to say. And valuation of germplasm, you definitely have issues on that, and therefore, over a period of time, when you start an exercise of this kind, valuation for internal balance sheet purpose for the company, and maybe when it becomes acquisition and mergers, or applying for loans and insurance, etc. So how to value? How do you value your germplasm? And that is a big question mark. I am sure some of us are already conscious of it. And these are all, this is how the subject matter will develop. I am only trying to put those just bullet points, and therefore we have lots of plenty of information is available, and then plenty is still not available also. Websites of IBPGR, NDPGR, International National Institutes have construction, infrastructure, temperature control, may still have the potential to store the seed well, and subsequently, this is the bottle gourd of 2006 actually. On 2013 we have tested it. After 7 years, all the seeds, and then you can't afford to test 100 seeds. We had over 20 seeds, there's a boldly we tested 10, and all the 10 are germinating here, bottle gourd. And this, you will see the MRGN number 3. This was just the third entry into the germplasm in 2006, and in 2013 it was able to maintain that. It's not that bottle gourd is always a best solubility, but normally when you test it, when you put it in the germplasm, you will feel that yes, you are keeping the good seed only. But bottle gourd did that kind of a wonder, so therefore we were able to proudly say, yes, bottle gold we are able to have germplasm. But then next one will show you, it is maybe sunflower. And now you will find sunflower, same period, I think the MRGN number also is just initial, 2006 store. By 2013, out of 10 seeds, we were able to get only 2. Of course, sunflower, everybody knows it's a very poor storer. In spite of the same excellent storage condition, this sunflower material, maybe it may be the genetic potential of the seed itself also, we won't know. But initially we started with the same material, I mean same germination status, but sunflower here an example of poor germination. Next. Same again sunflower, it's again initial germplasm not able to maintain. So therefore this further proves that there are species differences between the potential for holding the germination status. Next. Now this is the one North Pole which I was telling you. See, so it's practically the North Pole. Below that ice temple-like thing structure, below that 100 meters away is the store. I mean that's a kind of an international effort for conserving germplasm. Next. This I just only wanted to show you the essence of any storage in seed is the respiration control. Pranayama, you and I do it for longevity, of course not indefinitely anyway. And seed also naturally, there are plenty of theories, Robert's theory for what you call viability equations, and all plenty of them are there. Here, basically what we are trying to do is keep the respiration under the under maximum control, but not amounting to real death. Now, in the germplasm evaluation, when you start, you will get like soybean. Yes, you will have the purpose of showing you is this germplasm is okay, but then you will have diseased material. So therefore, you have to make sure that what you store is the healthy one. Next. Now, in the process, I was telling you about the natural wealth. So this is a wheat seed, basically it's a wheat plant. But then so what? But today, in the traditional medicine, they are looking for this kind of a wheat seed also for culture. So in our process, we should start simultaneously making materials of this kind. And then in this process, I am sure when you start collecting it, today we have shortage of true botanists, taxonomists, how to identify, even at the national level or the state level or the individual laboratory level, like ISTA participation when you do the, what you call the accreditation test, So when you have a reference sample or referee sample for testing, we are just to understand, we don't know how to identify the seeds. We know it is not a crop seed, but then what is the wheat seed? Even crop seeds, some of the crop seeds we are not able to understand properly. That's a kind of a lack of knowledge in the seed testing procedures and taxonomy for identification. Next. Now this is just only to provoke thought on that. You see, one of the genetic material we had to put it for germination, because it was germinating very well, then we had plenty of seed. I just put it in a petri dish and as usual covered it. Believe me, by the 10th day or 11th day, the leaves started getting up. So which I am just trying to share amongst the youngsters here, which I am calling it as at the moment, lid lift test. So this is the kind of vigot, it is not standardized still. But I was just thinking, okay, there are plenty of seed vigot tests available, but something what I have observed it, I thought I will share amongst you. If this may work well sometimes for evaluating, maybe it will get standardized over a period of time. But this is the lid lift test which I thought, which I will share with you. One of the genetic material is showing that, this is initial seed vigor available in that particular germplasm. Yeah. Now, this is the railway line, just to show you, the subject matter is very complex. So we start with one line and then where do we end up, we don't know. So that's a kind of a complexity of the material we are dealing with, and that will continue to be there as long as seed is there, as long as more brains are starting working on that, this complexity will continue. That is why we are here. Okay. Thank you so much for the patient hearing, and of course you have it.